with the lighting of the lamp, for which may I please invite our chief guest for Food Supplies and Consumer Welfare, Science and Technology, Government of India, which is a heartfelt rendition that embodies our journey so far and path for future. Krishna Chandra Patra, Honorable Minister Food. Now we would also associated with BIS since 1999 and he has worked in different capacities.
On 14th of October every year. This seminar is organized to commemorate the World Standard Day. And this day, the efforts of thousands of experts who develop voluntary standards within standard development organizations such as International Electrotechnical Commission (IEC), International Organization for Standardization (ISO), ITU, and IEEE. These national level committees are also part of Bureau of Indian Standard. BIS, the national standard body of India, has organized the seminar named Manak Mahotsav on the eve of World Standard Day to raise awareness among regulators, government bodies, industry, consumers, the importance of standardization to the global economy. 14th of October was specifically chosen to mark the date of World Standard Day in 1946, when delegates from 25 countries first gathered in London to decide to create a first World Standard Day was celebrated. And BIS, which was established in the year of independence of India, is also a founder member of ISO. This year's theme is Shared Vision for a Better World, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure through Artificial Intelligence, AI. Standardization supports economic growth, enhance competitiveness and foster technical development. It also a tool for protect consumers and support public policies for promoting trade in one hand and address health, safety and environment concern on the other. Voluntary sustainable standards are currently at the center approach of business to sustainability, going beyond the minimal legal standard established by government. Standards focuses on reducing adverse effect on environment, social effect, responding to demand of various stakeholders, including consumers. BIS has already started including sustainability requirement in Indian standards. For example, in steel industry, consumption of green hydrogen, green steel, reduction of CO2 emission, proper utilization of coal, standards on measurement of carbon footprint, fly ash utilization, decarbonization of industry, and so on. Across 500 districts in India and more than 25 districts in Odisha has been covered for training of district level officers. Institutions across India, which includes IIT, NITs, and reputed educational institutions controlled by government, KIIT Bhubaneswar and BPOT Rourkela. I hope
the public and private partners and the use of all available tools, including international standards and conformity assessment. The intense battle against a persistent global pandemic revealed the absolute necessity of addressing the SDGs in an exclusive way to strengthen our societies, making them more resilient and more equitable. Today we are asking you to join on a mission that affirms the importance of the SDGs to build back better. In this pursuit, standards are more relevant than ever. SDGs and our shared vision for a better world. Thank you very much.
Sectional committee. Please join me in
and Sri A.K. Purohit, Director and Head, BIS Bhubaneswar, Professor Saranjit Singh, Vice Chancellor, Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology.
Sustainable industrialization and increase in industry sales for employment and gross domestic product. 6. Increase in access to the financial services for small-scale industries, enterprises and integrate them into markets. 9.4. Finally said upgrade infrastructure, retreat industries to make them sustainable. Now, sustainable is a word which is a very understood in a different way. Wow, today we talk about net zero. We should have carbon emissions should be reduced by 50% by 2050. This is the message of the Honorable Prime Minister. We have signed our agreement. So So sustainability, circular economy, all these words in our survival, sustainability in our infrastructure, BIS plays a huge role. In the SDGs also talks about people, planet, prosperity, peace and partnership. So this is how I will not tell much about all these things. There are a lot of things are available, but I can only say BIS is for healthy life. They must have a own land building, so they can do testing, they can do training, they can really do a bigger service if they have their own identity. Thank you very much. My best.
And had published more than 100 research articles in the international and national journals, Conference for Food Supplies and Consumer Welfare,
as well as Science and Technology from the Government of Odisha, Honorable Sri Krishna Chandra Professor on the dais. We just heard our Honorable Vice Chancellor from thinking of standardization with quality, whether the day-to-day products which we use or any other consumer products or commercial products, and even to the processes, has gone a little deep-rooted where our school folks have been talking about it. And I was amazed to see one of those handouts which was prepared by one of the team, where they have written few things which actually been taught or been known at a little higher level of understanding and education. But this is what probably the objective of probably the BIS is, as a part of BIS initiative reaching out to young boys and girls and making them understand the importance of standards, standardization and quality in the day-to-day life is probably the basic bare need. Has to be propelled in the right direction so that the outcomes can be linked with the very niche and ambitious program of Honorable Prime Minister, that is Viksit Bharat 2047. Now to make Bharat Viksit in real terms, developed in real terms, probably every nooks and corners in India, or what we call as Bharat, whether it is villages, whether it is small towns or kasbas, the people residing there, they have to understand many of these aspects which actually will come together and we can become a developed nation, or we can be in that. For example, you go and you purchase some biscuits, let's say, a very simple consumable product which we consume day in, day out, and as the young bachas, you might be using biscuits and tea and biscuits or milk at times, and we have been also using it. But we seldom look into the brands. Certain brands we know, but if you don't know the brand, the other way of finding out whether the brand has a minimum benchmark of quality is looking at ISA standards or ISO standards, we mentioned there. So here that probably maybe a student chapter encompassing our international schools and schools plus to college as well as our university can be initiated there, and we can think of initiating certain activities under that as a bare minimum benchmark of awareness of BIS standards, standard practices, and then following it up later on to maybe certain more deep level understanding and knowledge transformation. Secondly, I heard Mr. Purohit speaking about that they have signed an MOU with some of the leading institutions in this part of the country. Probably we will be also happy signing a formal memorandum of association, an MOU, and probably maybe their HQ at Delhi, where probably we can develop certain or co-develop certain products. We will be very happy. To start with, I can just share one example. Students, those who are there in engineering studies, and especially if you are pursuing engineering in mechanical or manufacturing or production or industrial engineering, we normally have one very core subject on the measurement science, and we call it engineering methodology, which is basically completely based on standards, and we learn standards as a buzzword. It was something which was very futuristic. Though, आप लोग बच्चा लोग को जान के बहुत आश्चर्य और हैरानी होगा कि we have been talking about AI since early 1960s, and the application of AI and smart system is very much there in manufacturing, and we have been teaching in the form of flexible manufacturing systems or SIMS and so on and so on. But then 5 साल पहले तक भी this was a buzzword. People didn't knew and didn't have any clue what this AI is all about. Today it is an in thing. And what was an in thing 5 साल पहले has become something which is commodity. तो बच्चा आप लोग बहुत जगह पढ़ रहे होंगे कि एआई के कारण बहुत सारी नौकरियां चली जाएंगी, एआई के चलते of course lot of digitization and automation is happening, but the impact of AI you cannot stop, nobody can stop. It will rather create more quality jobs and will actually automate all the redundant and donkey jobs which have been actually been done, and people will be paid for it. So AI is going to be there and we have to adopt and we have to not run away with it. But then the responsive use of AI, how it can be responsibly used, that is what is important. And how it conflicts probably wide application of AI into the standardization process, that is also very unique and important, and probably that I discussed with Bhubaneswar sir last time, and I was also getting goosebumps that ISOs or ISIs or maybe the BIS has been talking about how the latest technologies has been actually coming up, and gone are those days when we used to talk about those solid standards and all those kind of stuff. So we'll be very happy if the new generation adopt these technologies and understand that. The wish for virtual realities, for augmented realities. Our good friend Panikrai, who is in helm of affairs of running so many companies, and he was been talking to me on the maintainability issues and setting up so many things, improving upon process productivity in so many companies which are existing in Odisha state, probably we have never heard of. But then think of that probably if you use AR, VR, and there are people who are experts in AR, VR, actually it's been digitally available, you solve some of the complex problems, maybe sitting at the corner of the world, but still going to JSPLs of the world or Tata Steels of the world and solving their problem and enhancing their productivity. This is bound to happen. This is bound to come. So friends, the message to you is that you need to be very, very open-minded, and you should live in a day, not in a daytime compartment. You have to open up your windows and doors and allow the fresh air to come in. And when I say this, it basically means that you should be open for all kind of learning happening in the marketplace. You should adopt these new technologies, and you need standards to understand. And if you don't understand even standards and you go and purchase a flat, probably you will be fooled by the people who will be selling the flats. Because it actually has a bare minimum benchmark of using the plumbing, whether it is the pipes, whether it is the fittings, whether it is the electric wiring within the system where we are going to utilize it. And if you don't know, and the builder and the architecture, especially the architecture, has not designed it properly in the system or in the project, you will be actually devoid of that quality benchmark and the quality standards. Bare minimum. So as we know, there are certain mandatory standards, of course, which are linked with the factor of safety, which is mentioned by sir, the kind of threat and the safety matters involved. But then there are a lot of such standards which are voluntary. But then those voluntary standards should not be neglected. So with this, I wish you all the best.
Of food supplies, consumer welfare, ethics and social work, showing a particular interest in working for the welfare of the poor. Additionally, he has been associated with the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha (RSS). He did its MSc from. Sir.
संग्राम नहीं होगा तो आप जिंदगी में भी खतरे में पड़ जाएंगे. Take for example, you will buy a pressure cooker from market. It should be in standard. Below standard का परचेज करेंगे तो लाइफ का खतरा हो सकता है, जिंदगी भी जा सकता है. हमारा घर में कहीं कहीं पर गैस भी ब्लास्ट हो जाता है, जिंदगी चल जाता है. ओके, हुआ नहीं, ऐसा होता है. इसलिए हम एक साथ खरीद करते हैं तो स्टैंडर्ड का खरीद करते हैं. एक प्यान खरीद करते हैं तो किलर देखते हैं, किलर नाम किलर, ऐसा हम कंपनी देखकर खरीद करते हैं. स्टैंडर्ड शुड बी मेंटेन्ड एवरीवेयर. जहाँ भी हो स्टैंडर्ड मेंटेन होना चाहिए. इसलिए अब आपसे दो पद मैंने रखा, हिंदी में रखा, थोड़ा थोड़ा उड़िया में बोला. एक्सक्यूज मी, आई वॉज नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड इन इंग्लिश, इसीलिए हिंदी में बोलना पड़ा. आप मैंने इसको समझेंगे जरूर. ସେଥିପାଇଁ आपण मानकु मो क्षमा मागुची जे जेहेतु इंग्लिश रे मो प्रस्तुत होई सुनथिली मो भाबुची मोर फीलिंग्स you should feel my feelings first. Language is the medium of expression. मैं मेरा एक्सप्रेशन आपके सामने रखा। जिंदगी में स्टैंडर्ड को मेंटेन करना पड़ता है। हमारा जो डिपार्टमेंट है ये फूड और कंज्यूमर वेलफेयर, इस बार मैंने एक डिसीजन लिया है जो माने पार्टी खरीद होगा, पार्टी में क्वालिटी को मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा। मैं क्वालिटी इवेंट इफेक्टिव मान माने ये आपनकर सफा एक पूरा शुष्क है भल धान आसो भल चाउल बाहर ये हूँ इफेक्टिव मान। तेणु प्रत्येक स्टांडर्ड आम मेंटेन कर भावी आपण दीपक आपण आगे रखी मो निजको सौभाग्य मन करुच्ची।
Dr. Swarnalata Sahu from Prabhas from Tata Steel Limited, take the note. Celebrating world standards.
थैंक यू सो मच। जैसा कि हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति के अनुसार दिया जो है सुख समृद्धि का प्रतीक होता है, इसलिए हम क्या स्टैंडर्ड्स हम लोगों को मेंटेन करना होता है। तो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट स्पीच। स्पेशल थैंक्स goes to the Sri A.K. Purohit, Senior Director and Head of the Bureau of Branch, Bureau of Standard, for delivering the warm. Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Nayak, Sir, Vice Chancellor of Ravenshaw University, and also Professor Dr. Saranjit Singh, KIIT University, for sharing deep insight of the role of BI in advancing our industries. You are benefiting and enriching our understanding tremendously. Thank you so much. Both have been the backbone of today's success. Thank you so much. इस आयोजन को वास्तव में यादगार बनाया है। Thank you so much.